Ian and Brock. We have just
We just rewatched Godzilla King of the Monsters for
that and
welcome to a third installment of Monsterverse-a-thon.
movie review 30. We've been seeing on one little sidetrack. We've seen this and halfway through I was in a fan dub that premiered around the day we saw the movie, so we had to stop just for this special occasion, and I'll put that in the description below. And I recommend you follow it, you watch it, and tell Crimson I sent you. So aside from that, let's begin.
So yeah, again, we just rewatched Godzilla King of the Monsters, and
what can we say? It was a fun watch.
yes, and I still think this movie is still badass.
Yeah,
and I don't really consider this movie to be a bomb. And can we explain why?
well, the movie flopped at the box office and wasn't somewhat, but not like Van Forstic levels of bad. Thank God. But
And it's definitely better than Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
yeah, and critics weren't too fond of this. I mean, hey, at least it's not like cuties. But aside from that,
Sorry. Yeah, aside from that,
a lot of fans loved it,
including us.
Yes, and the obsessive fanboys.
And heck, even Big Jet Films enjoyed it.
And yeah,
And even Omniview loved it too.
and there's something I notice when it comes to these movies. Well, the more you see them, the more appealing they get.
Yeah, just like with the 2014 Godzilla and Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, you see Godzilla 2014 for its cinematography, Kong Skull Island for its writing, and King of the Monsters for a bit of both, admittedly.
Yeah, pretty much. And now, okay, with that out of the way, let's try to get to the movie, and just like every other video, spoilers.
And also, there are no previews here, so let's just get that out of the way.
So yeah, so the film starts off in a flashback of San Francisco incident, where we meet Mark Russell and Emma Russell trying to find their kid named Andrew, who,
spoiler alert, dies at the hands of the Godzilla and Mutos fighting each other.
and then we get this awesome shot of them looking at Godzilla walking by. And then cuts to present.
Yep.
Where Emma Russell, played by Vera Farmiga, is devastated for the loss of her kid. But she still has her other kid, Madison Russell, played by Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things.
Yep.
And anyway, so the news reports say something about Godzilla being missing for 5 years, and there was this like one shot of a protest have these signs, and one of them says, "Destroy all monsters."
Yeah, another thing I love about the Monsterverse movies, that specifically Kong and Skull Island and King of the Monsters, the directors are super nerds.
Again, Gareth, that was somewhat of a nerd, but anyway, back to the plot, where Madison was cooking food for her mom, but
she forgot the golden rule. Always keep your eye on the stove when you're cooking.
Yeah, and Mother came in and helped out, and thankfully no house burned down, and they talk about of how life has been rough, and try to relax, and wonder if Madison, her father's going to be good, but he'll be fine. But then
that.
Yeah, and they heard an earthquake, and we hear that familiar kind of roar, and which is
Mothra, but as an egg.
Yeah, and the shot reveals that they're in the rainforest, China, and Monarch Outpost 61, and they go there to check to see how the egg is doing, and the egg hatches into a larva, and once again,
a glowy larva,
and Martha, it looks so beautiful, glowing.
Yep.
But then alarm goes on, it's like, which causes Martha to freak out, and Emma Russell's like, "Would you all stand down? You're scaring her!"
Yeah, and also there is a little device that they known as the Orca.
Yeah, and one thing, I'm sure Martha didn't kill those guards, but they almost looked dead.
About that. Anywho.
Anyway, she goes in, uses the orca to calm Mothra down, but it successfully worked. And Madison's tried to have a little touch with Mothra, like of somewhat of a something of a bond, but not sure about that. Like everything's all peaceful, but then
Terrorist comes in and kills and shoots everybody, filling them full of lead.
Led by Alan Jonah, played by Charles frickin' Dance from Game of Thrones.
Yep. And in other movies like Last Action Hero, Michael Collins,
Alien 3.
I didn't know it was Alien 3.
But yeah, he somewhat kidnapped them, then custom monarch at some meeting with the government.
With the Senate.
Yeah, with the Senate, talking about the events that have been going on since the last two movies. Like, and this guy named Sam Coleman, I hope I'm saying his name right, played by Thomas Middle. Sorry, let me know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what he acknowledged about the Titans, like, which one of them is here to protect us and which one of them is here to threaten us? And the Senate's not having any of this, like, oh, this is all bullshit. I mean, so you're thinking this Godzilla thing will have, you think we'll have this creature as our pet. Then Sarazawa, once again played by Ken Watanabe, says,
no, we would be his.
Yeah, and also, there's a bit of reference to King Kong. You know what? King Kong is referenced a lot in this movie, but we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah, so don't expect us to reference Kong every 5 seconds.
Because we referenced him up in the last video.
Yeah, this is Godzilla's movie, not Kong, so let's just get that straight.
And then Monarch gets a call from Trouble. I was like, I'm sorry, Senator, but we gotta go. And Coleman's like, and also, try and enjoy this little video where the two Mutos are mating. Bye.
Well, sadly they're not fucking!
Don't do that.
Well, it's a new trend.
Okay. Anyway, cuts to, where we meet Mark Russell, played by Kyle Chandler. And, okay, what was it that you told me?
I find it ironic that,
that Kyle Chandler's in the Peter Jackson King Kong playing this
playing Bruce Baxter,
who is a bit of a coward.
Well, not a coward, more like an actor who didn't even know he was gonna be in an island full of things that want to kill you in 5 fucking seconds.
But in this, he plays some kind of zoologist-ish.
So, he was a part of Monarch, but left after his son was crushed to death, and honestly, I would not blame him.
So yeah, he quitted his Monarch job and living on his own, studying wolves.
After a phase of alcoholism.
Ugh. So Monarch finds him, and they ask for his help to rescue his family from Alan Jonah, who and at first he didn't want to do that and hated the idea about the orca that him and his wife came up with, but then he was like, okay, fine, I'll help.
Yeah.
So they go to the castle. Before they arrive to Castle Bravo, I mean, Mark Russell realized that there's more of these things. It's like, oh my god, how many of these things are there?
Well, and as as Dr. Sotosawa would mention, 17 and counting.
17? And why you just kill them already?
I think Monarch would know why.
Yeah, and his Sarazawa's apprentice, once again played by
Vivian.
Sally Hawkins.
I think his name is Vivian Graham. I think that's her name.
No, I think the actress' name is Sally Hawkins.
Yeah, Sally Hawkins. Her character's name is Vivian Graham.
And thanks to the person for letting us know in the comments from
Eric King.
I'm sure it was the other one, but
no, it was Eric King who told me her name.
Oh, thanks. Well, thanks, buddy. Anyway, so they managed to arrive on time, and they discuss of how to get try rescue Emma, Madison, and get the orca back from this unknown terrorist they don't know about. And we met a few characters, like Rick with a guy with glasses and has this cup says.
I can't remember what it was, but it was a funny joke.
Yeah. And they see a little footage of Mothra in the waterfall, and he just made this joke.
Oh, pervert!
Yeah. Martha was like pissed at the helicopter, saying, "Hey, do you mind?"
Oh, pervert!
Oh, okay, stop that. And then Rick's like, "I think she's like becoming like this,
I feel bad now.
turning in this cocoon, and when she has to become something more dangerous." And Dr. Chen's like, "You don't know that, Rick." And I think he might be right.
Yeah, and earlier he mentioned like Titans are pretty much potential for bioweapons, and honestly, he's right. Just take a look at Andros.
And we meet one of the soldiers, played by Oshie Jackson.
Who is a massive Godzilla nerd, and I am all for it.
Yeah, his favorite monster is Gigan.
And Mechagodzilla.
Anyway, and then Mark tries to discuss with Mark. It's like, okay, everyone stop. I think we need to kill all of these things, including him.
Yeah, he has a grudge with Godzilla.
But it wasn't really Godzilla's fault. He was trying to bring...
He was just trying to do his job.
Yes, and then... Anyway, we cut to Antarctica, where Emma and Madison arrive at this...
At the Monarch Outpost, I think 32.
Yeah, it was 32. And Alan Jordan kills members in Monarch there, and...
Kills the Monarch guards and sets the charges.
And there's like a little funny scene when he's like...
And Madison Grade, and...
It's like this. Yeah, I thought that was fun. And then when they finally get to the lower level, they see...
The big one.
The trapped on ice, Monster Zero, himself, King fucking Ghidorah.
The epitome of pure evil.
And pardon my French.
Oh, don't worry. I curse a lot on this channel, so...
So they get everything all set and about to start, like, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And about to set the charges. And then we cut back to Monarch, where Mark is having a little, still upset when he's looking at this old video of him pretending to be, like, bears.
It was basically him playing with his kids.
And then we heard a little shaking, and we know who it is.
The big lizard.
Yep.
The big G.
Godzilla. Yep, Godzilla's back and a bit upgraded.
Yep.
Where his dorsal fins got a little more like his original.
Yep, and they glow.
And one of the soldiers will go try to fire at him, but it was like, no, don't fire at him. And we should let him know we're not fire. So open the shields, and then...
Well, Mark Russell basically says this because he's an expert. Because he does take a picture. He's a photographer and zoologist on animals. So basically he understands that pretty much presenting your weapons towards a pissed off animal is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially when it's 5 times bigger than you.
And Rick is like, oh sure, let's have him join us for a beer. Are you out of your goddamn mind? So, but now they do manage to open the shields, and there he is, glowing.
Yep.
An intimidation display.
Yep.
And Vivian Graham says, like a gorilla pounding his chest, oh, you mean like King Kong? And okay, we should stop talking about Kong.
Yep.
And so yeah, it's like, everything's all cool, it's like, oh. But then...
Yep.
he just got a little jump scared.
The current time I saw the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't as big as like when it comes straight towards you, but nonetheless it was unexpected.
And Rick's like, can we call the shields now? And now they'll realize where is he going? And they know he's going to Antarctica, and they're like, let's follow him.
Yeah.
And they go into this big giant ship called the USS Arco, and you really like that ship, don't you?
Yes, especially when it displays all those little helicopters right there, so I can play set. It made me feel like a little kid.
So anyway, they finally arrive to Antarctica, and the G team goes there first, led by O.C. Jackson, and alright, let's go. But then they got, it was a trap.
Yep.
Yeah, most of them get killed, but okay, not all of them. And Kyle Chandler's character runs in, grabs a handgun, and is about to help out. And finally manages to find his ex-wife and kid. Alright, let's get out of here! But he did kill that one guy, but not Alan.
Yeah.
John. And like, oh, come on! Madison! Emma, let's get the hell out of here! But, you go on.
But they stay and they set the charges, and they summon the kaiju equivalent of the devil. And now I don't mean Destroyer!
Yeah. Yeah, so they all get out of there, and Emma activates the orca, waking him up. And where Mark and the soldiers, when they see that big giant pit, rises, you know who.
Ghidorah himself.
Yeah, and then all three of his heads look at the people, and O.C.
Death,
Jackson,
Chaos, and Kevin.
O.C. Jackson's like, you gotta be fucking kidding. And they all make a run for it, but then a few of them start shooting at him.
Yeah, and it also gave me some ideas for, like, future events. Yeah. You'll see.
And you kind of know what's gonna happen to them. They get
fried.
Yeah, by King Ghidorah's gravity beams, where one of them was like, oh shit!
Yeah. Dumbasses.
Yeah, and then the left head is like looking at the corpses, and then Alpha says it. Ghidorah says like,
yep.
Yeah, and they have nicknames. Ichi, Ni, and Kevin.
Yeah, Ichi, Ni, and Kevin.
Yeah. And then Master activates the orca like and then ignores Ghidorah, but then gets grabbed by Alan Jonah, and then Ghidorah's back to herself and attacks the ship where the characters are there, and almost like they're about to get eaten, but then
Godzilla comes in.
And we hear the Godzilla theme finally!
Yep.
And there's this amazing shot where Ghidorah and Godzilla brings out his mighty roar, and they charge at each other.
Yep.
And grabbing the head.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, there's like beam bells, and then then there's fire, and Godzilla falls down. And
he falls.
It's cinematic as fuck, and I am all for it.
But then Vivian Graham
dies.
Yeah,
like I said, Ghidorah's the epitome of pure evil in this, and I do mean this. He is a literally evil bastard.
And Ghidorah just retreats, and Godzilla roars in anger.
Yeah, but that's not where the fight ends.
Yeah, and thankfully no cutaways.
Yep.
And then cuts back to where Mark Russell wakes up and he's all exhausted from all this and trying to know where to find them. But then Emma Russell comes on screen and go ahead, you take.
And basically has somewhat of a villainous monologue, but not like a more like a villain with good intentions.
Yeah, but her intentions are kind of insane.
Yeah, funny how the father characters are usually portrayed as the ones who take the death of their child the worst. I think the mother did.
Yeah, she's like about to unleash all the monsters throughout the world, and Mark's like, you're out of your goddamn mind. I mean, look, listen to yourself. And our son wouldn't want this.
Yeah, exactly. And as Superman from Injustice would say, he would be afraid and disgusted.
And then cuts off, and Dr. Chen's like, that bitch.
Yeah. She is psychotic, and I think she took her son's death the worst.
And now she...
Because honestly, having a drinking problem is mild compared to having a compared to trying to commit pure and utter genocide.
And now she wakes up the next monster in Isla de Mara.
Isla de Mara.
Yeah, thank you. And Mark outpost 56, and that monster is
Rodin, the fire demon.
And when that volcano explodes, I just made this joke going cock-a-doodle-doo.
You know what would make it better?
What?
Cock-a-doodle-doo, motherfucker.
Oh my god, that would have been funny. And
yeah, if someone could do fan art of that where it's just Rodin popping out of the volcano with all that fire just screaming cock-a-doodle-doo, motherfucker, I would pay money for that.
Yeah, Rodin rises out of the volcano, and seeing him on the big screen was
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, Mark's trying to lead Rodin away, and they realize that they lost Ghidorah in the storm. He's in the storm.
Yeah.
So they get Rodin's attention and follows him and flies in, and he has the powerful wind.
Yeah.
where a mother and kid try and get out of there, but then get rescued by Oshie Jackson.
Yep.
And that flying sequence, oh my god, that is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, and where Rodin's doing this fucking barrel roll, and this one time it's just ejecting himself, and then
Yeah. First, I don't have to be to be a fighter pilot to know you don't do that in a dogfight.
Yeah.
Because especially in real life, because if you do eject in the middle of a fight, your enemy will shoot you down.
And then they finally manage to arrive on time, and Rodin and Ghidorah fight in the sky like crazy, like pretty over the top, but it's done in a good way.
Or as Michael Dougherty would say, their translation is, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, and Ghidorah actually managed to kick Rodin's ass, and now King Ghidorah is going right towards them, but then
Godzilla comes in.
Yeah, and Godzilla's like about to finish the fight, but then
humanity does something stupid.
Using the oxygen destroyer and just blast both of them, and actually killing most of the fish. And it's like, no, Godzilla.
Normally this would be the end, but here's the problem. Ghidorah survived.
Yeah, and he has a missing head, which grows back.
Which Godzilla tore off and yeeted into the ocean.
Yeah, and Ghidorah managed to grow a new head
and summon a massive call, which would summon every single Titan to wreck mankind's shit.
Except for Kong, which he's not interested in.
Yeah, but I think we'll find out what actually happened in Godzilla vs. Kong.
But that's a story for another time. Anyway.
Yeah, on to the rest of the movie.
And cuts back to Emma Russell's like, I'm not doing this. And Alan Jones like, well, I thought we'd do this, but this one's doing it for us, so long live the king. And then Madison is...
Yeah, Madison is obviously and understandably disgusted by this.
And she's like, you're a monster, Mommy.
Well, she just says you're a monster.
Yeah, I'm just doing it as a joke.
Yeah.
And then cuts back to Martha in a cocoon.
And we have a cameo from Brooks from Kong Skull Island, but played by a different actor, given that he is much older.
Makes sense. And Martha hatches from her cocoon, and my god, that sequence is just beautiful. The way she just brings out her wings and making her screech, and I don't think I could do Martha's roar.
Yeah,
it would just sound like a cat.
Yeah.
And Brooks just smiles. It's like,
yep.
And then cuts back with Monarch, where they're all like, oh great, we just had our chance, and now Godzilla's going, and now what to do with this monster zero? But then Dr. Chen finally puts the pieces together to know the creature's name, and Ghidorah.
The one who is many.
And Mark's like, get what?
There was a STD joke in there.
And he's like, and she's like, Ghidorah!
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they arrive back in Castle Bravo, and we see the animal from the 2014 film. It's like, dude, you see what you did?
Yeah.
You just blew our chance where Godzilla had the fighting chance, but now...
Yeah, but now every single monster is back from their slumber, and mankind's shit is getting wrecked.
Yeah, a bunch of monsters are destroying everything in their path, and
this isn't some kumbaya thing. It's the end of the world as we know it by REM level shit.
Yeah, and Mark says that something about Ghidorah's like being the alpha, the new alpha, like they're all moving like a pack. Exactly, and now a couple of minutes later, he's gonna go on his own to find his daughter, but then
Mothra comes in, and
then
funny thing is, on the internet, a crap ton of people are shipping her and Godzilla, and Michael Dougherty, the director, fucking knows this.
And O.C. Jackson's like, that's kind of messed up, man.
Yeah.
And we realize that Godzilla is actually still alive. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking for Ghidorah, and now Monarchs is like, alright, oh, thank God he's alive, let's go find him. And they realize he's in Hollow Earth.
Yep.
You know, Oh yeah, and
people complain about that, but they don't seem to realize that was actually in the 1954 film.
Exactly!
It was even mentioned.
I mean, I'm sorry,
That's alright, don't worry.
So they all go to Hollow Earth to find Godzilla. And it's actually pretty dark, grimy looking.
Grimy.
Yeah, grimy. And sort of Atlantis, but I'm not sure if it is Atlantis. And
It could be, though. So if anybody wants to comment if it is or not, please feel free to do so.
And so they managed to arrive on time, but unfortunately they can't reach because...
It is filled with radiation. It is filled with more radiation than the world after a nuclear war from threads.
And unfortunately, Sarazar will go there on his own to sacrifice himself, and it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So he goes there on his own, takes the bomb, and sees Godzilla right in front of him, touches him, and he says his final words in Japanese.
Goodbye, old friend.
And the nuke goes and destroys the whole somewhat Atlantis, and Mario managed to get out of there on time.
Yep.
And they rise above the ocean, and they see Godzilla.
Yep.
Yeah, that is just beautiful. And Godzilla is about to head to Boston, and they're like, "I think I know where he is." And so they all try to get ready for the fight. And
when he says, "Let them fight,"
Mark Russell says, "No, this time we join the fight."
Fuck yes. And they do.
And then, a couple of minutes earlier, Madison steals the Orca. I'm surprised there's no security guards anyway. And so
that kind of bugs me. Who in their right mind wouldn't bring a guard there? It's kind of stupid when you think about it.
So she steals the Orca, uses it, and about to summon every single Titan and luring them to Boston. And it actually works, and Ghidorah shows up. And takes a little piece like, leaving so soon. And she makes a break for it, and Ghidorah using all his gravity.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Master's about to be done for, but then...
Godzilla comes in with an armada of jet fighters, and the Navy. That is a fucking badass shot, no matter how you look at it.
And Dr. Chan's like, for Sarazar! And then they all start firing, and Ghidorah charge at each other, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, they just beat the shit out of each other, but bam, 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 and Godzilla uses his tail, and...
Yeah, Ghidorah uses his heads, his tails, his wings,
and Godzilla brings us his atomic weapon.
Yeah, and then Mothra comes in, and then Rodin comes in, and it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
and then while that's happening, the army guys are just coming in looking for the Orca, and then they're trying to look for Madison, but she's nowhere to be found.
And they all try.
And then while that's happening, what's the mother's name?
Emma arrives at...
Emma Russell comes in, and Russell comes in with a jeep, tells her to get in. Flay comes in, tells her to get in, tells him to get in again, and then they drive to Emma's house, and then they find her in between the bathtub, thankfully not crushed. How her hand is still intact, it's a miracle.
Yeah, yes, and we should wrap this up a little quicker because...
Holy crap, we've been doing this a long time. Alright, let's keep going.
So it's my turn. Then King Ghidorah just goes on...
And all the jet fighters are dead.
And then Mothra is getting her ass kicked by Rodin, but then she managed to...
And there's a shanker on the shoulder with a little stingy.
Yeah, and then King Ghidorah grabs Godzilla and just falls to the ground, and then Mothra comes in about to make a big ultimate sacrifice. I was like, Mothra, no!
And then Emma Russell does it too while everyone else gets out, and then Godzilla comes in, feels the fire, and then he goes kablooey, and then he kills Ghidorah.
Whoa. I had to say this. When Godzilla looks all pissed when he's now in his fire form at pissed at, and King Ghidorah's like, that's impossible! He's like, it is. You killed my friend, taken my throat, and now you're dead. And uses the radiation.
And he uses all the radiation, he turns into ash, he makes him go kablooey, and then Boston's nothing more but a massive grave, and then Ghidorah supposedly comes back, and then Godzilla comes in. Godzilla just biting at his neck, and then finishes him off with his radiation beam, and burns out what's left.
King Ghidorah is just got annihilated. Like, holy shit! And you called it chewing you up and spit you out.
Yep.
And Rick's like, well, good thing he's on our side.
And he's safe for now, and then my poor child Godzilla versus Kong, and then all these other titans come in, they're about to fight, and then they just bow to him, and then he roars up to the top.
Yeah, Rodin's actually still alive, and again, Rodin and the other titans bow down to Godzilla, and Godzilla reclaims his throne as the real king of the monsters, and he brings out his roar, and cuts to the title. And that was a great way to end a movie, and they actually have the Godzilla song, though.
Yeah, a kick-ass rendition of it, and by God.
Yeah, they said he's got to go, go Godzilla!
Yeah, and then there's post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, and
they may foreshadow Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, and the cave painting is Godzilla and Kong fighting each other, and cuts to the credits, but then post-credit scene where Alan Jonah, I'm surprised he's still alive, and he finds the remainings of the
remains of King Ghidorah.
And he's like, we'll take it. Cut to black end.
That's it.
Yeah, and also, people said that, the bowing down scene is so cheesy. I was like...
it's not meant to... Okay, well, basically, it's not the 2014 movie. I mean, it is a sequel, but whereas Godzilla was... The 2014 Godzilla movie was Aliens, was Alien. Godzilla 2019 was Aliens. This was more of a scientific, realistic type of scenario. This is more of something straight out of a comic book, and more in the vein of Transformers the animated movie, and I am all for it.
Oh hell freaking yes. I mean, if you don't like the bounce scene, that's fine, but for us, we thought it would look badass.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great foreshadow.
And I'm just happy Godzilla has more screen time in this movie, and so is the other monsters. Yeah. And can we talk about King Ghidorah in this movie?
Yeah, Ghidorah is, like I said, the epitome of evil, and maybe my favorite rendition of Ghidorah.
And I also really like Mothra in this, but I wish she was in it a little more.
And I'm gonna get a ton of flack for this, but I think she's best girl. Change my fucking mind.
And I also love Rodin in this.
Oh yeah, I love Rodin in this as well. Especially his design, just...
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of Rodin I do not want to cross.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything else to say?
I think that's about it.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, and stay tuned for the final conclusion of Monsterverse-a-thon, where we take a look at
Godzilla versus Kong, and we may be having a guest here, but we don't know yet. But aside from that, keep your ears open.
So yeah, we'll probably see it around late March or early
April. So until then, this is Brock McGinnis
and Dean
of Light Post Films signing off. And have a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.